All right, welcome. This is the Kubernetes Storage Special Interest Group meeting. Today is February 15, 2018. Let's go to the agenda and get started. So today we're going to go through the work items that we're planning for this quarter. If you have any design reviews that need to be looked at, please post them in the agenda doc. And if you have any PRs that need to be looked at that are not getting attention, you can also post them in this doc to bring attention to them. And then Mohammed from IBM has an announcement that he'd like to make. And we'll finish off with Aaron giving an update on the onboarding to storage one-off meeting that we're going to do. All right, so let's go to the planning spreadsheet. First off is generic storage topology solution that works well with CSI and local storage. Michelle, are you on the line?
The dynamic provisioning design and making sure that that will work well with CSI. So that's in progress. The actual persistent volume specification API part has already been approved. And the PR for that and also moving it to beta is in final review right now.
Okay, we missed the first part of what you said. You were on mute. Could you repeat that?
The part that is approved is the topology specification for persistent volumes. This is for the statically created persistent volumes. That part is approved, and the beta API is also out in final review. The part that's still pending is the dynamic provisioning design, which is what I'm working on right now.
Okay, sounds good. Next up is volume scheduling, dynamic provisioning design. There was a dependency on the topology design. Is that unblocked now?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the current status?
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on now.
Okay.
I guess I kind of like covered all four of them in one thing.
Local storage to beta. So that's good news. Any update on the pre-provisioner security hardening for local storage? Cheng, are you on the line?
Yep. So Michelle and I were able to go to the container identity work group to clarify the direction which they would like to go with per pod identity. And it sounds like the consensus is with more and more use cases showing up, they would like to eventually have ability to do this. And so with that, then we can just keep the design as it is today with the daemon set without an extra centralized component. And then when that's available, we can modify. Or when the per pod identity is available, we can modify the design.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and stop tracking that for this quarter then.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is the CSI volume implementation. We have a separate meeting and doc that we keep track of detailed status. The important bits are that the core API has been moved to beta. There are, I think, one other big item that I'd like to get in for beta, which is moving the volume attributes to first class. That's still in progress. And then there's a handful of extra features that I'd like to add, things like credentials, mount device calls. These require changes in the CSI spec itself. Some of these changes have gone in, some of them have not. So considering code freeze for Kubernetes entry is February 26th, just about a little more than a week away. We may or may not get to all of these, but the hope is that we'll be able to move the core at least into beta so that folks can start creating drivers, and then we can continue to add features on top of that. And that's that. One of the dependencies that we have is mount propagation. Jan, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I didn't get much feedback, but I sent a PR to enable it. I just need to check it if it was approved.
Okay.
It must have been approved. Yeah, it is approved.
Sweet. Okay, next up is block volume support. The tasks here were adding additional volume plugins and adding more tests, and we broke out the volume plugins and additional work that needed to happen. The volume refactor I took a look at this week and approved. It's a hero that looks good to me. The RBD and iSCSI plugins are done. The CSI plugin, Scott Carilli, Aaron Boyd, me, and Vlad had a meeting earlier, I believe it was this week or last week, about it. Scott, do you want to talk about that?
And I'm here too.
Oh,
Saad.
perfect.
So
if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm going to work on the design while Misahiro and Scott finish the plugins that are for entry. And then that's likely the only thing we'll get done in this sprint. The implementation will probably be in the next release.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll go ahead and change the goal for this to design for this quarter, and then we'll pick it up as implementation next quarter. And any progress on the AWS or GCP plugins?
Yes, Scott has those completed. They're waiting on the changes that Jing's making to enable those.
Okay.
So they'll merge whenever it's dependent on her PR.
Got it. Jing, are you on the line? Okay, we'll get to that item later, hopefully.
Oh, hey, Saad.
Yes.
The local volume plugin has been merged for block.
Awesome.
Nice.
The only thing that remains is the updating the local volume provisioner. That is done. That will be done out of tree.
Perfect. Okay, that sounds good. And any updates on adding additional testing for the core of block volume?
So this is Mitsuhiro speaking. So the proposal for dynamic provisioning got merged already. So my coworker will work for the implementation, but it's not started yet. So still target is V1.10.
Okay.
And also I proposed the iSCSI external provisioner block volume support. And I got to looks good to me and waiting for the merge to the tree.
iSCSI external provisioner?
Yes.
Okay.
Not in the list because it's external.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's all from me.
Sounds good. Okay, so it looks like a handful of them got done, which is good, and a few are in progress, and then one of them will punt for next quarter. Next up is local ephemeral storage to beta. Jing, are you on the line? Okay, so I think I can give an update on Jing's behalf. I believe the PR for this was sent out and it was awaiting review. And it looks like there's a second part of this, which was, I'm not sure what that was.
I think it's snapshots.
Okay. Sheng, are you on the line?
Yes. So we are still working on the design. So trying to finalize on a few things. So both the query volume from snapshot API changes and the CSI design. So I think making progress.
Okay, sounds good. And a lot of this work, well, all of this work is going to be out of tree this quarter, so it's not limited to the code freeze on February 26th. Okay, prevent PVC deletion when pod is using it. Paval, do you have an update here?
I want to talk to you regarding the
He's not
here.
Go ahead, Jan.
Sorry. Pavel is not here, so all the code has been merged in. We are just waiting for approval for the feature rename.
Okay. Naming is very hard.
Saad, I think you're updating the wrong row.
Okay, let me type that, copy it, and undo it. All right, thanks for that. And what about prevent PV deletion? Same story?
The same.
Okay.
One thing, it's going to be out to be better. So we have just one feature and not for every.
Okay.
Module.
Cool. Next up is flex volume resize support. Zhao. Okay, looks like the design proposal needs some love. Let's add that to the list of designs that need attention. And then we'll come back to that. All right, next up is exposing capacity isolation resource management for local ephemeral storage metrics a month. Actually, I believe Hamant's out of office this week. Can anybody give an update on his behalf?
Let's check the PR. It might have merged or it needs review.
Okay. There's no PR, but we can go to the feature issue. Okay, looks like there's a couple of PRs out.
I know there was a recent PR about adding metrics to the PV controller.
Okay.
That's all I know regarding this.
Okay, we'll have to follow up offline with Hamant then.
Yeah, I'll get you a status next week.
Okay, perfect. And I guess we'll skip the next one too. Redesign volume reconstruction. Jing, I don't think she's here, but last status was PR was in progress. And there was a couple things that she wanted to clean up.
Saad, you're modifying the wrong thing again.
Thanks.
I'm thinking now he's doing it on purpose. Just to say we're watching.
Where are we? All right, let's see. Reconstruction, okay. All right. Improving node failure handling for Cinder. Jessi? We're going to have to follow up with Jessi offline as well. And Lin Ma, any updates on improving local volume attaching? Okay, we'll follow up offline. I think Lin is in China, so he can't attend these meetings. Add support for accessing Ceph RBD with the RBD and BD client. Ian?
I think Ian can't make the meeting today, but he told me that this is in progress and there should be a PR out by next week.
Okay. I guess it's in progress. So he already put the PR out. It just needs to remove the WIP proposal. Okay, so same status. And for dynamic max volume per count, Hamant sent out a design. I left a comment on there asking about whether a different proposal had been considered. Waiting response on that. I'm not sure whether we're going to have enough time to implement this quarter, but we can get the design.
I don't think we're going to. I put this just at the design phase.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Cool. So as a reminder, code freeze is coming up February 26th. There's going to be a code slush that goes in a week before that, I believe Monday the 22nd. The purpose of code slush is that only feature-related work will be allowed to merge. So just things like random refactors will no longer be accepted. This is to kind of remove the noise from the merge queue. And your feature should still be able to get in until February 26th. If it doesn't get in by February 26th, then we have to either wait for the next release cycle or file an exception and get a few more days. If you think you're going to need an exception, please reach out to me and we can talk about that offline. So designs that need attention, it looks like the proposal to add resizing to flex volume hasn't had any attention. Chakri, do you happen to be on the line?
I think Chakri is out this week.
Okay. I think I'd like Chakri to take a look at this, and possibly Cheng, if you could take a look at this as well.
Sure.
All right, cool. No PRs that need attention, so we'll go straight to Mohammed, who is from IBM, and IBM's having, I believe it's the Index conference, Mohammed?
Yes, yeah, thanks, Saad. So IBM is organizing this conference. It's called Index, and it is going to be organized in Moscone West in San Francisco. And the first day happens to be a community day, and they are offering some space for the different SIG groups. And I thought that it would be a good opportunity for us as a SIG Storage to have a meetup there. So basically, the conference is just a gathering for developers working on microservices, Kubernetes, Istio, blockchain, serverless, AI, and other things. So there will be like different keynotes from different companies and talking about different items in the conference. And so if you are kind of interested, yeah, the page that you opened, Saad, I posted a code that you can use to register. It is kind of a full pass for all the conference. So if you are interested, just add your name there for logistics and do the registration, and we can discuss about the agenda. So for starters, as discussed with Saad, the simple agenda is just to get to know each other and to do some work there, like bug triage and so on.
So I wanted to make it clear that this is not a official SIG face-to-face meeting. We didn't have enough time to plan something like that, and we don't want folks to be excluded who can't make it to this event.
Yep.
So we're calling this event a meetup. We want to do work here that folks aren't going to miss out on. Second comment, Mohammed, could you make this document, share it with the SIG storage?
Yes.
Looks like we don't have permission to edit.
Oh, okay. Sorry for that. Let me do that really quick.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And hopefully we'll get folks out there. And last item on the agenda today is Aaron giving an update on the onboarding to storage SIG meetings. Aaron?
Aaron, are you on mute?
Did she drop off? Nope, she's there.
Well, I can tell you that at least Aaron and I did meet, and we created a kind of an outline of a document of what we call almost like a 101, 102 classes that we plan to share with the rest of the team. We have this. I don't know if she shared the document or not, but we should share it soon. And what we plan to do is that each of these are about 5 to 10 minutes max. We want them to be short, we want them to be clear, and we want it to be efficient, small meetings. So we will be sending out this small document out. We will be approaching a certain number of people to see who can volunteer to do these classes. These, sorry, not classes, small presentations. And we can be as simple as no slides, something on the command line, or just a few slides. Oh, there you are.
It wouldn't let me unmute.
Okay.
So sorry. So you've covered it well, Luis. I don't know that I have anything more to offer, but we didn't want it to be a burden on the volunteers. Doesn't mean we don't want the content to be, helpful. I think it's important we give back to the community and help more people on board. So I hope everyone, considers it, giving back and getting more people onboarded quicker. And as Luis said, it doesn't have to be slides. What we'll do is we'll put it on the SIG storage calendar so people can attend the recording. That way we could include any questions that come up, because I think it's always helpful to have those as part of the recording. But we're not going to do it during this normally scheduled SIG meeting time. I just don't think we have time for that.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks a lot. Do you have a rough estimate for when we plan to do this?
I think we can start scheduling it.
Submitted in the form.
Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
I was wondering, being live presentations, but then I'm wondering that some parts of these might benefit for pre-recording them so you could add them or speed up a demo portion or something like that. Is that something you might have had in mind on some portions of this?
Yeah, I think we're flexible. However the presenter wants to volunteer and do it, that's fine. If they just want to contribute the content as a pre-recorded video, totally fine with that. We just were going to open it up in case we also wanted to capture questions around it. But if you're going to volunteer, I'll let you do it however you want. But again, I think the timeline is important. I don't think we want any half-hour videos. They won't get watched. So.
Yeah. And we also wanted to make it just a few. I think we have about 5 subjects, or 5 to 10 subjects, because we wanted to just try them out first, see how they go, and then learn from it.
Okay, that sounds good. And in terms of timing, I was thinking probably after code freezes would be better. Folks will have a
Yes.
little bit more time, so maybe March.
March, yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So I'll get with each of the people who have volunteered to present and get it on a calendar, March, April timeframe.
Okay. Cool. And I also wanted to share that the videos that I've been posting are no longer coming from my personal account.
This is the bi-weekly meeting
So
of the Kubernetes.
we have an official Kubernetes Storage SIG channel, and all the videos have been migrated there, so we look very professional now. And we can go ahead and add the videos here.
Super. That's great. Thanks.
That was that. And then something else that I wanted to mention, but I think that's all there is for today. All right. Anything else anybody wants to discuss today? Okay, then we'll call it, as a reminder, February 26th is code freeze. Let's get our features in, and then I think the next meeting will be after that. All right, take care, folks.
All right, thanks, Saad.
Peace.